Good morning folks, and welcome back to the woods. And you'll find me on a very sad day today. Unfortunately, a friend of mine's passed away, Mr. Tony Deacon, and this video is basically a tribute to him. What I was planning to do today has gone out the window because I really don't feel like doing it. So first things first, I'm going to light the fire, and I'm going to do it in a way which Tony would have approved. There we go, no bullshit fire. Tony was a no bullshit kind of guy, and both him and myself appreciated a jet lighter. We did speak about it on several occasions. Well, I'm going to have a cup of tea now for Tony, hoping Scott, my pal, turn up. I'm wearing a Tilly hat because my buddy Tony always wore this style of hat every time I saw him, so this is a tribute. Absolutely too warm for me, but I'm doing it for him. I used my old faithful Gransford's axe, my longest serving axe, because why not? And I've got a bush tool on my belt because Tony appreciated my bush tools and he had two, and the last one he had was only a few months back, and if you follow me on Instagram you'll have seen it. It was RWL with an orange G10 handle. I'm going to have my cup of tea now. Good fire. That lit really well. Obviously I made the feather sticks before and I keep them under the tap in the dry, but I will replenish stocks today. Now you folks might have noticed that my chopping block is a little bit on the soft side. Ideally I'd like a nice solid chopping block, hard seasoned. But when I cut that off a few months back, it's a big old lump and it did have a bit of rot in it. Certainly working better than the one I had before. But I think I'm going to try something now. Seeing as I'm using my old axe, which isn't the best splitter in the world, I think that initial shock when you bring the axe down is being dampened by the wet chopping block. So I'm going to cut a round off here now, only about that size, a knotty round so it doesn't split, and I'm going to attempt to split on top of that and see if it works any better. Apparently not. Now this one is my feather stick log. Let's hope this splits nice. but I think it made a blind bit of difference. Worth a go. One thing about these Gransfors, which is a lot better than the Wetterlings I have, they're far better for splitting smaller kindling down. That narrow profile, narrow grind, bites in well, whereas my Wetterlings, when I'm doing kindling prep, bounces off because of the thick edge on it. These are probably better all-rounders because they chop better than the Wetterlings. It's just that the Wetterlings have got that extra weight, and coming down on your piece of wood, they split better. Now, if you're in somewhere, well, do you know, if I watch a video from somebody in North America and they're splitting pine, and you only got to look at it and it splits, this stuff is not the same. This spruce clings onto itself like hell. So please don't think I'm a bit of a retard or something because it's not going through as easy as you've done it or somebody else you know and watch does it. It's because this wood is tough. I'm going to make some feather sticks now. I think I'll put the kettle on as well. Before I get on with these feather sticks, I just wanted to say a few things about Tony. Now, I first met Tony at the first wilderness gathering back in 2003. I'm quite friendly with Roger, who was the organiser, Roger Bison Bushcraft. Tony was quite a quiet man at first. I think he was sussing everybody up because he was an intelligent man and he certainly knew his stuff. Future conversations with him had shown that he'd been into bushcraft and survival skills since he was a young man, basically in the 70s. So he'd been around, he'd seen it and he'd done it. And from what I can gather, he was a very good angler and he'd been all around the world fly fishing and doing angling things in general. So the guy knew his stuff. And over the years, obviously seen him every year in the wilderness gathering, I got to know him a little bit more, and he was a real gent, a very nice man, somebody I always looked forward to seeing and talking to. And in the last year or so, since I've had this channel, I know for a fact he's watched my channel and he's contributed with comments quite a bit, and sometimes he's wound me up as well. He knew what buttons to push and let's say I bite easily. So he'd say something, wind me up, I'd comment back, and then I'd get a message from him then, a private message saying, I'm just winding you up, Rob, you're easy to wind up. And we talk about things in general. That's where the jet lighter came in. A few months back when I started talking about jet lighter, he'd sent me a link to an excellent jet lighter he used, and I haven't bought one yet, but perhaps I should now. As I said earlier, he had some knives of mine, 2 bush tools he bought off me. And I don't care if he bought anything. I really like the guy. He was a metallurgist, so obviously he had to be pretty intelligent for that. I wish I knew more about him, so I could tell you a bit more, but I know he was a staunch family man and a real lover of nature. If he posted anything on Facebook, it would be himself and his wife going out for a walk and showing what beautiful nature he lived around and how much he enjoyed it. I will miss you, Tony. You were a good man. And that's about all I'm going to say on the matter, really, because I don't feel I knew him well enough to bleat on about it, but I'm truly saddened by the loss. You know, this is not usually what you see of me. You see me swearing and chopping wood and things. But I just wanted to put it out there. We've lost a good one in the bushcraft community in the UK. Somebody who knew his stuff and was quite happy to share any knowledge he had, especially about fishing. He knew his shit. To Tony's close friends and family, all the best. I'm sure you'll deal with it, no matter how difficult it'll be. And I know, because I've lost someone close recently as well. So I know exactly what you're going through. Now I'm going to shave some sticks. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that wood was absolutely lovely to carve. Fair play. They're all good ones. Well, on that note, I'll say goodbye and spare a thought for my buddy Tony's family. Right, normal service will resume next time. Obviously there's going to be no bloopers on here because that would be bad taste. Till the next time. Ta-ra.